Second grade, what's going on? Mr. Hunter here. I'm here with your second grade math lesson for today. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day so far. Make sure you got your water. Make sure you got your mind ready to focus. I am ready here. I got my board set up. Second grade math, pages 233, 234. We're going to be working on some multiplication and division. Rulers, get your ruler out. Equivalent measurements. We're doing multiplying by zero. And I'm going to show you guys some skills with multiplying by zero. So it's going to be pretty cool to see. Determining half of a number is called the concept of doubles. So we're going to talk about that. Multiplication, multiplying number combinations. And then these are some cups, what it equals, pints. That'll all come into play in just a second when we're doing our work. All right, so you need your pencil, need a ruler, and let's dive in. All right. So number one, it says write the products. Okay, right off the bat, if it says write the product, what type of math problem are we going to be doing? Well, you guys see the X there, so you know, but we're doing writing the product. The product is the answer that we call the multiplication problem. If you're adding, it's called the sum. If you're subtracting, it's called the difference. If you are doing division, it's called the quotient. And for multiplying, it is called the product. So those are the four different terms we use for the answers we call our problems. But today we're working with writing the products. So 4 times 1. All right, so you write that on the board. You see that on your paper. How do you come up with 4 times 1? Well, let's say this. If you have 4 groups, right? 4 groups of people, and you give everybody 1 banana. So you get a banana, you get a banana, you get a banana, you get a banana. 4 people get 1 banana. How many bananas did we hand out? So we handed out 1 4 times. So if we handed out 1 4 times, it's going to be 4 because 1 times 4 is 4. So we handed out 1 4 times. Everybody get it? All right, 1 4 times. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, and we're going to do some more work with this in the future, but we'll talk about multiplying times 0. So let's take the same scenario, okay? Instead of a banana, we'll say an orange. There's 10 people, and we gave each of them 0 oranges, all right? So how many did we give out? No, it's not a trick question. How many oranges did we give out? If we had 10 people, 10 groups of people, 10 times 0 oranges. So how many oranges did everybody get? 0. Wait, we gave out 0. So let me get this right. Anytime you take a number and you say, let's say 50 times 0. If you gave out, 50 people, you gave them 0 oranges. How many times did you give out oranges? 0. No matter what it is, no matter how big the number is, anytime you give a number and you times it times 0, it is going to be 0. Anytime, like we did for our first problem, anytime you take a number and times it times 1, it is going to be that number. So I could say 1,000 times 1. Guess what? The answer is going to be 1,000, right? I could say 15 million times 1. The answer is going to be 15 million. So for those two, for number 1 and for 0, 0 times anything is always going to be 0. 1 times anything is always going to be that number, all right? That's just a little trick there. So now that we know that, we have 11 times 0. So we had 11 people. We gave each of them 0 pencils. How many pencils did we give out? We gave out 0 pencils 11 times. So the answer is 0. Okay, that's some of the work you're going to be doing. You're going to be practicing with that. There's kind of a trick one here. You have 2 times 1. I'll let you do that one. Let's look at the 6 times 10, all right? 6 times 10. So you have 10 people. You gave each of them 6 pretzels. You gave 10 people 6 pretzels. How many times did you give out pretzels? You gave out 6 pretzels 10 times. So you could either write 10 6 times, or you could write 6 10 times, and you'll get your answer. All right, so let's write 10 6 times. We got 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. So when we add all those together, we go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60. So 6 times 10 is 60. Wow. Are you guys understanding this? You getting the concept? You see that? We gave out 6 pretzels 10 times. 10 people got 6 pretzels. You can say it either way, but either way you say it, it's going to be the same answer. All right? So you're going to do the rest of those on your own. I believe you should be okay with that. But guess what? Guys, I thought we were done, but now we got to do the quotients. So quotients for number 2, problem number 2, that's what we're dividing. Okay, so let's look at 70 divided by 10. How are we going to do that problem? We're going to show you. I'm sorry, my video froze a little bit there. So if there's a little glitch, don't worry about that. But we're all set up. What we're doing here says 70 divided by 10. We have to write the quotient, which is the answer. Now, before we do that, I want to show you guys a little trick here. All right. So when you're doing division, we have learned the division sign, right? We learned the division sign. I want to teach you guys something else. That is a way you can write the division sign, right? One dot at the top and then one dot at the bottom, and it's over top of a line. But you know another way you can write the division sign? You can just write a diagonal line. And you're right? So you can write a diagonal line. So you could be 12 divided by 3. You know another way you can write the division sign? You can write it over top. You write 12 over top of 3. So there's 3 ways. You have a line with a dot at the bottom and the top. You have a diagonal line, and then you have a line straight across, but you put the numbers right on top of the line. Okay, so those are ways you can write the division sign. Now, looking back at our problem here, we have to write the quotients. You have the number 70, you have the number 10. 70 divided by 10. How many times do you have to count to 10 before you get to 70? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. How many times did we count 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 70 divided by 10 is 7. There were 10 sevens, or 7 tens in 70. You guys get it? There's 7 tens in 70. We had to count to 70. We had to count by 10 to 70 7 times. So there's different ways you say it. All right, look at 120. Oof, that's a big number. But how many times do we have to count 10 till we get to 120? Well, let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Wait a minute, we just counted 10 plus 2 more, so that's going to be 10 plus 2 is 12. There are 12 tens and a number 120. So the answer is 12. 120 divided by 10 is 12. Wow. Now, I want you guys to skip the bottom one. You're going to do that, but I want you to look at the next number. All right, 0 divided by 10. How many zeros, how many times do we have to count 0 to get to 10? 0, 0, 0, 0. Wait, if I add 0, I'm not getting anything. So 0, 0. This is going to be frustrating because if I add 0, nothing's going to, wait a minute. I think I figured it out. You can't divide anything with 0. So just like multiplication, anything that's times 0 is 0. Anytime you try to divide something by 0, it's 0. You cannot do it. You cannot divide by 0. You cannot multiply by 0. So the answer is 0. So that may be a trick question, but just something for you to know. You're going to do the rest of these problems. You should be good to go, but just wanted to let you know that you did really good so far with the multiplication and the division, finding the products and the quotients. All right. Number 3, use your ruler to draw lines. Okay, we know what time it is. Get your ruler out, and you're going to be having 2 sides. So you need to pay very close attention. Look at your ruler, hold it up in front of you, see which side says centimeters, the C and the M, and then see which side says inches, the I, the inch, and the I and the inch, the I, the N, the C and the H, and then that little dot. Okay? When you do that, you're going to measure each line accordingly, and you're going to write what it is. So it says 7 centimeters. You actually have to measure out. So you have to draw out a line that's 7 centimeters. Then you have to draw a line that's 4.5 inches, not 5, not 4, right in the middle, 4.5. You guys can do it, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, no questions about that, pretty simple. Now at the bottom of number 4, it says, write greater or smaller, or greater than or less than. But what do we know what these are? So QT, what does that mean? What do we think that is? That is an abbreviation. That is right. An abbreviation for the word quart. Quart. All right. 1 quart. All right. What about C, the letter C? What is that an abbreviation for? Cup. Okay. We know that. Cup. Okay. Now we're going down. What about PT? What about PT? Anybody know? I don't want to tell you. Pint. You see? Pint. 1 pint. So that's the abbreviation for that. And then we have the last but not least, the biggest one, gallons. You are going to look at what they're asking you. 1 quart equals 2 cups. 1 cup equals 1 pint. 1 gallon equals 1 quart. You're going to write greater than or less than. Because you guys, we haven't done this in a while, you may not know right off the bat. Some of you may know. But I want you to take this. 2 cups equals 1 pint. So a cup is smaller than a pint. But guess what? 4 cups equals 1 quart. How many quarts equal a pint? 2. 2 pints equals 1 quart. And then how many quarts equals a gallon? 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So you're going to be able to look at this, all right? 4 cups equals 1 quart. All right, you have the pints, you have the cups, you have the gallons. You're going to take those factors and put them in on the board, or take them from the board and put them into your problems right here, greater than or less than. Okay. Number 5, it says draw the lines to match. The clocks have been driven or drawn for you. All you have to do is match the correct time with the clock. Here's the trick. You've got 4 times over there. There's only 2 clocks. So remember, little hand points to the hour, big hand points to the minutes. You guys know exactly what to do. We've been going better with the clock work. I know you guys, I can trust you guys to do well on that. All right. So we're ready to switch over to our next page. All right, turn the page. All right, guys. So really quickly, we already kind of did an explanation about one factor is 0 and the product is always 0, multiplication. So this is just more recap on that. It says at the top, when one answer, one part of the problem is 0, the product is always 0. So a factor is one of the numbers in the equation. All right. So 1 times 0 equals 0 bananas. One group of 0 bananas equals 0 bananas. If I have 10 groups of 0, do I have anything? No, I have 10 groups of 0. I was like, oh, wow. How many bananas do you have? Oh, I have 2 groups. All right. How many are each group? 0. So I have 0. I have 2 groups of 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. All right. Same thing here. So we'll look at the product. Number 1 says write the product. 5 times 0. What is the answer going to be? 0. Wait a minute, Mr. Hunter. All of these problems have a number and then it's times 0. So the answers can't all be 0, can they? You to figure out. If you have any questions, let me know. But it's easier on this part than you think. All right? Don't overthink it. Number 2, mark beside the best weight. 1 pound, 1 ounce. Whew, what are we going to do? Remember this. An ounce, the smallest. A pound is bigger. Remember, 1 pound is 16 ounces. 16 ounces, you know it's 16 ounces because the LB, the abbreviation for pound, looks like a 16. So remember that. You have to look at the pictures, A, B, C, and D. We're going to do this for gram, kilogram, pound, and ounce. You have to look at the picture and determine if it's 1 pound or 1 ounce. A kilogram is bigger than a gram. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So look carefully at the bananas and then the picture over here with the candy. All right? Just bubble in the correct answer. Last but not least, it says fill in the blank. So this is the concept of doubles. Half of 20. All right, half of 20. So I don't know what half of 20 is. What do we do? We're trying to go half. How do we go half? Well, here's the thing. Look at the number that they're asking you to go half. It says half of 20. So if you don't know what half of 20 is, you can break it down like this. What's half of 0? It's the same thing. It's going to be 0. All right. What about half of 1? I told the answer. Did you guys hear it? Half of 2 is what I meant to say, but I gave you guys the answer. Half of 2 is 1. So you always are going to look at the number and determine the half. You can just break it down in the problems. Let's do the next one. Half of 42. Half of 42. So I write the number 42, and then I say, what's half of 2? 1. Okay. So that's 1. What's half of 4? 2. Oh, so that's 21. So you guys, all you have to do is take that number and put it like you're doing a problem, like a subtraction problem, and just subtract everything down and then figure out what's half of that. Okay? What's half of 8? You'll get your next answer. What's half of 6? What's half of 8? You'll get your answer. All right? The concept of doubles. When you have a number and they ask you what's half of it, take that number, put it in a line like you're about to do multiplication or like you're about to do a subtraction problem, and just take that number and subtract 2 from each number. Okay? Go half from each number. That's a really simple one. And last but not least, write the answers. Guys, we started off really, really hard. I think we're finishing pretty easy. What do you guys think? This is a concept that you guys know, adding the numbers, but they're 4 digits, not 2, not 3, and they're written lateral, not vertical. So it may be harder. So what's one thing you can do? Well, you can break the problem down. We have 10 plus 4 plus 3 minus 2. So 10 plus 4 minus 3 minus 2. What do we do? So what's 10 plus 4? 10 plus 4 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14. Okay, we have that. So that's done. Now we have minus 3. So 14 minus 3 is going to be what? We have to take 3 away. So we take 3 away. That's going to be 13, 12, 11. Oh, 11. Okay, so that equals 11. And now we have to subtract 2. So what's the 2 going to be? Taking away 2 from 11 is going to give us 9. All right, so that's right. So that's how you break it down. You can break it down piece by piece. Some of you may know how to do it already altogether, perfectly fine. But that's a way you can break it down. And what did I say the last couple of days? What have I been saying all along? Show your work. All right, guys, that's what you're going to do for the rest of the day for your work on math, multiplication, division, finding the factors, finding the sums, finding the quotients. You guys are all set. We'll see you mañana.